Hi everybody, it's Dr. David Gustitis here talking about causes for low back pain. And what I want to talk about now is something that relates to the quality of the neurological input into the brain. So that's a big, heavy subject, but it's really actually quite simple. Have you ever heard the expression garbage in, garbage out? When you're working on your computer and you're typing in information, if you don't program the computer properly, then say the software or whatever program was written will not produce the result that was desired. So the error can come because the programmer didn't do their job right. In the case of the spine, if we have healthy spinal vertebrae and healthy spinal movements, then we will give healthy input into the brain. If we have degeneration, abnormal motion in the spine, you can see in this one there's bone spurs and there's disc thinning, and this vertebra, these pair of vertebrae, this vertebral couple, would not be moving normally as it should, okay? If it had healthier movement in between the two and there's proper alignment, then the information coming in from the sensors at this level will get up to the brain the way they're supposed to be provided. And then the brain will be able to act on that input and be able to produce output that will help the body and cause the body to function appropriately. So what I want to do is show you over on this chart an example of the spine, so you can see all those nerves that travel to the extremities, down the legs, down the arms, and the information that comes in through the extremities, through the spine, all reach the brain. The primary source of that information, though, is the spine. The spine is the primary source of what is called proprioception. Proprio means self, and ception is a root that means awareness. So self-awareness in regards to whether we're standing, sitting, moving, or I'm rotated right now, or I'm not. The brain is constantly monitoring all these positions of the spine and of the body so that it can respond accordingly. Because if I'm leaning this way, I need to realize that I need to stabilize more on the right so I don't keep falling over to the left. Or if I'm walking down the sidewalk, or I'm walking down a hill or up a hill, I need to lean forward or lean back accordingly so I don't fall over. And then it gets a lot more complicated when we're an athlete, or we're trying to go for a run, or trying to do some more complicated athletic type maneuvers. Similarly, it gets really complicated. I'm gonna grab my model again. It gets really complicated if we have misalignments in the spine. Then we don't have normal input coming from these different areas. That gets more difficult for the brain to compensate for. And so what we can create are called motor control errors. So with regards to low back pain or pain in other parts of the spine as well, we will see that, say I'm in the gym and I'm lifting weights, there has been documentation on a video x-ray of a very, very fit, strong, capable weightlifter having what's called a motor control error, which means that the coordination and the stabilization of the two vertebrae that were moving, two of the vertebrae of that person's spine, when he was lifting, it had an error in the moment because the input was either not accurate or it was not sufficient to allow the brain to respond. And that led to an injury on a video x-ray that person had. And those who were studying, those who were doing the research, were able to see that pair of vertebrae separated more than the other ones, and they had an injury, a strain, and a sprain at that moment, which led to pain. It could have affected their disc, it could have affected the ligaments, it could have affected the muscles, and therefore the nerves. So it's real important to have proper information going into the brain, coming from proper alignment and proper spinal motion. And that is what I want you to understand. So if you feel like between sitting too much or poor spinal care, poor spinal hygiene, then it's real important that you get that checked out. Please click below if you want to learn more about how we can help you.